So Ray Lewis getting ready to look at that beautiful shot there with the leaves changing. It's first game in November in the Mid-Atlantic right there. Steelers-Ravens, too, on top of it. All right, Ian Rappaport, still no Le'Veon Bell. So we thought, okay, it would be just a couple weeks. Then we thought it would definitely be after the trade deadline. And here we are after the trade deadline. What is the latest on Le'Veon Bell?
It is unbelievable, Rich, that we are still talking about this late in the season. And the reality is the Steelers do not know when Le'Veon Bell is going to show up. Or, by the way, if he is going to show up. They think it is going to happen, but no one is absolutely sure. They also don't, by the way, know what he looks like or how ready to play he is. We do, though, have a firm deadline. If he does not show up by November 13th, he cannot play this year. Then it would be tune into the offseason, see if he is franchise tagged again, see if he's transition tagged. There's a lot still up in the air. But we do know he's obviously not going to play today, not going to play in the Thursday nighter. So is he going to show up before November 13th? Le'Veon Bell has already lost almost $8 million in salary this year. We will see, as we send it to Aditi, who is covering this game, we will see, Aditi, how much he actually ends up losing.
Well, Ian, Ravens defensive coordinator Wink Martindale said this week, a lot of the Steelers' stats are actually better without Le'Veon Bell. And then he made a joke. He said maybe that's why Bell is on that jet ski. But there really is a lot of truth to what Martindale was saying. The Steelers, through 7 games so far, are averaging more points per game. They have a higher red zone percentage. They have a higher third down conversion percentage. And that's all because of the physical style that James Conner is running with. Conner, of course, is the reigning October Offensive Player of the Month. He's coming off 3 straight 100-yard games. He has 2 touchdowns in each of those games. Left tackle Al Villanueva said to me, he hits the hole hard, and it's fun to block for him that way. Of course, as I say all of that, now, Rich, James Conner did not run against the Ravens in that first meeting.
So let's take a look at the numbers, Aditi. In terms of the first 7 games, last 2 seasons, James Conner, with fewer touches, has more scrimmage yards, more yards per game from scrimmage, more touches, more yards per touch, and you could see more scrimmage touchdowns. The production was there. Now, earlier on in the season, we were talking about, well, James Conner can't do what Le'Veon Bell does in terms of providing matchup nightmares, standing in the slot. Does it even matter anymore, Steve? I mean, do the Steelers need Le'Veon Bell the way that James Conner is producing, Steve?
You know, Lev Bell, I love him. He's a Spartan, okay? There's my reference. Mark that one down. They won yesterday, too, Rich.
Here comes the mooch bus.
So I hope it all works out for him. But right now, It doesn't look like they really need him. James Conner is replacing him in terms of production, yardage, scrimmage yards, the whole thing. In fact, James Conner's 9 rushing touchdowns. That's the most Lev Bell's ever had in his career. And James Conner has more forced missed tackles than any back in the league. That means he's got a lot of make-you-miss. All right? So, Lev Bell, he was better as a pass receiver. But what's happening, how are they making up for his loss? Antonio Brown is catching more touchdowns. He's got 8, and he only had 9 all of last year. So they're making up for it in other ways. Right now, you take Lev's salary, if he was there, and James Conner's salary, you take James Conner.
Yeah, but that's kind of what you look at also, though, Coach. You start thinking about, okay, how's this offense being run? Now, you know, in the first 4 games, Ben Roethlisberger was leading in passing. He was throwing the ball all over the field. He wasn't handing it to James Conner, and they was losing football games. And in the last 3 games, they're starting to hand the ball off. Now, you start saying, okay, well, now he's running well. You still haven't heard anyone say he's the best back in the league. You're talking about one of the best backs in the league. Are you guys not watching what Todd Gurley's doing? Todd Gurley and Le'Veon Bell are mentioned in the same breath.
Careful.
In the same breath.
That's a breath.
You want that dude on your team. Not saying this kid isn't doing great. This kid is having a great year, and God bless him, and his story is great. And trust me, I'm going to make money off his story. Because off season, I will be talking his story and inspiring people and motivating people. But Todd Gurley and Le'Veon Bell, in the same breath. You talk about the baddest backs in the league. When he comes back, you take him back. That's just the bottom line.
Yeah, and I look at it and I look at who are the best teams in the league that we're talking about. The Chiefs, the Saints, the Rams. There's a multitude of riches with all of those teams. Those teams that we say are the best teams in the league are the teams that are scoring because they have weapons everywhere. Do you need Le'Veon Bell? Yes, because he's one of the best players in the National Football League. I don't care what James Conner's doing. He's playing great. Great. Give me another back. Give me another guy. Give me somebody else that I can throw to, because these teams that are so tough to defend are the teams that have weapons everywhere. If you take away one guy, there's somebody else that can beat you. Le'Veon Bell forces you to take away a lot of different things that opens up everyone else on the football field.
And how does he help you?
The Steelers need
let me ask you
Le'Veon Bell.
But how does he help with calling the games? Also, Rich, every defense comes in, is coming in saying, we got to stop Le'Veon Bell. The defense is now coming in and, hey, we got James Conner, but we got to watch his passing game. So now they're scheduled differently. He helps you play checkers. Helps you play chess while everybody else playing checkers, because you know the defense is going to stop Le'Veon Bell, and I can build my offense off that.
Now, that's all well and good on paper, right? Or in film rooms. But you got human beings. He's going to stroll back in this locker room. He's going to stroll back in this locker room. What happens? Can you run a two-back set with these guys? What happens? How do you split that up?
Well,
what happens? You don't think there's going to be guys in the locker room that are going to be thinking one thing or not? I mean, and the Steelers are humming along right now. You don't think that this is going to be an issue, at least for maybe a week or two? Maybe not when January rolls around, but I don't know. That's why I'm asking you guys. You guys are the ones in locker rooms and coaching and playing with these guys.
It's not just can you play them both and all that stuff. He kind of let his team down. Okay, I know it's a business decision. Everybody's got to take care of themselves, but he held out on his team. They needed him, and I think there's going to be a little residue from that.
What do you think?
I believe he's going to be accepted back in when the time comes, is that the players are going to say, hey, I know, we didn't like the way he did it, we didn't agree with it, but he's back here and he's our teammate, and he helps us to do what we're trying to accomplish. And at the end of the day, it might have been mad that he didn't come in at the right time, but players understand the business side of it, and they're going to see that. And then when he gets back there, come on, let's go. We're rolling now. We're going to add you to the mix, and we're going to make a roll, and we're going to try to win a championship with you here.
Right, and trust me, he has guys that he's been talking to in that locker room. It's not like he's not talked to anybody anywhere. He has friends that he's talked to in that locker room, and those friends have been walking around that locker room keeping it cold, keeping everything warm until he gets back.
Well, I'm not saying that he's going to fracture the locker room coming back. What I'm saying is that the football's going to have to be split up. He's going to get what he wanted by less tire tread for the next team. But the question is, you guys all say that, when you have two quarterbacks, you have none. They're going to have two bell cow, every down, multi-purpose, yards from scrimmage running backs, and we'll see how it plays out at some point. But for the moment,